Hello, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show. This is no ordinary podcast. This production has heart and soul, healing and wisdom, artists and authors. Deidre has spent her entire life promoting people, projects, and products that further hope and healing. She has also been a positive force in the entertainment industry as a vocalist, performer, musician, composer, conductor, author, and healer. You will be in good hands spending this time with her and her guests as they will guide you into another space where you can relax and feel their positive energy. Thank you for joining us. And now, here is the amazing Deidre Reigel with her special guest.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 7 of the Gratitude series. And I am so excited because today's guest is a lovely woman named Patti Rippe. Now, she's in Cincinnati, Ohio, as we speak, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about Patti before she and I get talking about gratitude. So Patti has been a spiritual student all of her life. Her interest in metaphysics led her to intuitive development studies with internationally known psychic John Friedlander, who is the author of Psychic Psychology. Patti conducts intuitive and healing readings focused on enhancing, enriching, and bringing comfort and insight to the lives of her clients. She began an intense study of dream interpretation over 2 decades ago with friend and renowned dream expert Wilda B. who is the best-selling author of The Mystical, Magical, Marvelous World of Dreams. Patti facilitates dream seminars and conducts readings in Cincinnati, Ohio, where she has resided for more than 30 years. Patti holds a degree from the University of Cincinnati in liberal arts. She can be reached by phone at 513-252-4854. And that number again, in case you'd like to book an appointment with her, and I'm thinking once you listen to this woman talk, you're going to want to book an appointment with her. That number again is 513-252-4854. And finally, Patti's website is www.pattyrippe.com. And I'd like to spell her name. It is PATTIRIPPE. And again, that is www.pattyrippe.com. Patti, welcome to my show today. How are you?
I am doing just wonderful. How are you, Deidre?
I'm fine. I'm in a state of gratitude for this time together, Patti. And I so appreciate your presence. I'm honored to host you on the show. And I just have a feeling that our conversation today is going to be full of nuggets of goodness and insight for many people. And with that in mind, I'd like to get right into our discussion. Patti, what is your definition of gratitude?
The words gratitude and appreciation are very close in my world. I always say they feed each other. And the more we have the intention out there in the world every day to put our focus on things to be grateful for or things to appreciate, the more likely we are to feel empowered and healthy and joyful and positive in our daily life. So to me, gratitude, I think of it as a tool to be able to look for examples of gratitude as I go about my day. And the more I do that, the better I feel. And I notice that when I keep and I've done this for a long time, I keep a gratitude journal that I try to write in the evenings. And what I've found is during the day, I tend to look for things to be grateful for because I have this commitment in the evenings, just as I'm falling asleep, to write down 3 to 5 things that I've noticed during the day that make me feel especially grateful. And it's funny how over time, even just in a couple of weeks or a month, going about your day and just kind of looking for examples of something to be grateful for, like the smile of a cashier at the grocery store, or bumping into an old friend in the neighborhood as you're walking your pet. Just those simple little things. It doesn't have to be big things. But to train yourself to look for things to appreciate and feel grateful for, it does change your energy. And if you're keeping track of it, it causes you to focus on things to be grateful for, to look for things to be grateful for. And believe me, it will absolutely bring anxieties under control, and it will raise your vibration, which is a different way of saying to bring joy to your life, which is a way of being in the world where you can manifest much more easily the things that you want, the things that you desire. You can create an energy within yourself that will just naturally attract the thing that you are longing for to come to you, those positive things that we all want, like love and connection and meaningful work. Whatever it is that you long for and want, the more joyful you are, the more filled with gratitude and gratefulness you are, the more likely you are to be able to pull those things into yourself. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I've noticed over time, now just the feeling, I can just recognize it immediately. Oh, I feel like I'm manifesting something now. So I hope that answers your question.
It's a beautiful answer to the question, and I actually took a couple of notes. And this I love when I'm talking with my guests, because I learned something, or I relearned something, or something is re-ratified to me. And I took two notes out of this. One, that you differentiate between gratitude and appreciation. I'd like to come back and talk about that in just a moment. The biggest note I took right now, in fact, I circled it on my paper here, was that you keep a gratitude journal. And as someone who journals myself, I thought, how brilliant is this? Because it's really giving yourself almost a sense of accountability or a goal at the end of the day, that you are holding yourself responsible for writing down things that are grateful. So you are busy about the process all through the day of consciously looking for things to be grateful for. And Patti, in my mind, that changes the game of living from so much of the pessimism that we've been so programmed with. Just kind of turns that whole construct of life upside down. Instead of being on our guard all the time, looking out for things that might go wrong or trying to go into self-protection. And yes, we all need to be taking good care of ourselves, but it flips the whole model upside down to where you are looking for things to be grateful for. And I agree with you. It changes your whole view on life, and it changes the energy that you are in, and calls in beautiful things to be joyful for in your life. Perfect. And I really want to talk about that gratitude journal, because to me it's a game changer. So thank you for sharing that. And yes, a great answer to the question. What is your differentiation then between gratitude and appreciation?
Well, I'm a natural-born intuitive, and all my life I've been tuned into energy. And for me, gratitude is a feeling of thankfulness for something either that you experience, or something that someone does for you, or something that you can do for someone else that gives you a feeling of uplift. Gratitude is the term I would use is that it's probably a little bit less high in terms of vibration than appreciation. Appreciation to me is about looking at something with depth, feeling gratitude, and then taking it a step further, feeling your way into something. Like if you're in an art museum and you're walking around and you happen to see a friend and you haven't seen them in a long time, and you just say, oh my gosh, hi, it's so good to see you. And they're with their family, and you're just grateful that you got to see them. But you don't get to spend any time with them because they're on their way to their lunch and they're running, around with another crowd. But still, you feel that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I got to see someone that I care about today. To me, that would be something that would evoke gratitude. Appreciation would be being able to sit down with that friend that you love and be able to catch up and hear what they're thinking and open your hearts to each other and share things that you've learned and uplift for them deliberately. To me, gratitude is about noticing something or having a moment with something that means something positive to you. And appreciation is being able to put your energy into it and really feel into it, which I think appreciation is just a high vibration energy that can lead to manifesting things that we want. I always say we don't manifest what we want, really. We manifest what we are. And by that, what I mean is the higher you can raise your vibration, the more likely you are to attract those things that you're thinking about when your vibration is high. So it's a practice that I've used for a long, long time, and I find that it works really well. I hope that explains what you were trying to ask me.
Absolutely, and I agree with your definition of the difference between gratitude and appreciation. I'd like to add, if I may, that years ago one of my clients talked about the word appreciation, and she likened it to comparing it to the opposite. We talk about something depreciates in value, so it goes down in value, versus appreciation. And she likened it to when we add appreciation to something, we feel appreciation, we're adding to its value, we're increasing the size of it. So I might be so bold as to suggest that we have that moment of gratitude and thankfulness, and then if we move into appreciation, we are actually aggregating or adding to or enlarging the feeling of appreciation by adding even more value to it. And you spoke about the idea of you bump into some old friends at the museum and you say a quick hello, but later on you have time to sit with them and really appreciate the time. In other words, be in the valuation or the high energy frequency of valuing time with them. And I love your definition of the difference between gratitude and appreciation. And thank you for sharing that, Patti. That's beautiful. And of course, you say you've been doing this for most of your life, and you're well practiced at it. And I know that you're a wife and a mother and very busy. In fact, your daughter, Katlia, has been on the show twice now. And I know that your life is very full. And I know that we, especially here in this country, get on the wheel of busyness and activity, and it feels sometimes in some of our days so difficult to have those personal moments where we can just take a breath and feel gratitude or breathe in the joy of life. And yet it seems to me that you have lived in a state of orderly disciplinedness. I'm going to say that again, orderly disciplinedness with yourself that has required you to maintain this spiritual aspect of being always in a state of gratitude and looking for things to be grateful for, and that has been probably the backbone of your life. Am I assuming correctly, Patti, about that?
Well, I appreciate that positive comment, and it means a lot to me, and that certainly is my goal. But as you said, I have a big family, and a practice of my own with the work that I do, the spiritual counseling and the energy work that I do. I try very hard to keep myself in a high vibration state. But things can get in the way, like illness or surprises, things that happen where someone you love is going through a hard time and they call you. And you may have, what I call psychic hits even, where we are made of energy. We're physical human beings, but we think of your human body as the core of your aura, and your aura is all the energy around you. That energy around you is susceptible to the energy of others. So, for example, to explain that, very quickly because I don't want to lose track of where we were. Someone thinking a negative thought about you when you're not staying in a place of high vibration can cause you to feel drained and tired. But if you learn to shield yourself and cut psychic cords and send them back with love, then you can refill your own energy body and feel much stronger and much more integrated with your own feelings and thoughts and perspective and focus. But when you get too run down or too busy or too distracted from the core of who you are, it can make it harder to kind of strengthen your own energy. So what I do to try to keep myself on track, and thank you for saying I sound like I'm have it together, but believe me, there are times when life can just surprise you with things, and I can get thrown off, and life can get messy. But you know what works really well for me? The practice of meditation. And as long as I can take anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes every day, early in the day, and I like to do it at night too, just as I'm falling asleep, and sort of reintegrate and expand my own consciousness, it makes it a lot easier to stay focused on appreciating and finding gratitude and the things that come across our path during the day.
I think it becomes a habit, like brushing our teeth, that we get into every day, even if it's 30 seconds, or we have to do our meditation as we're pulling the car into the driveway because the day is so full. We find that way to shift our consciousness in whatever way we do, and I think this is probably one of our primary responsibilities to ourselves, our families, our neighbors, our society, etc., is to maintain the integrity of our energy, no matter what is happening around us, and
it can be challenging, can't it?
Yes, absolutely, for all of us. Because the world is what it is. I remember when I was doing the series, and in fact, your husband was part of that series, how to maintain your sanity in times of chaos. We are living in a very chaotic world, and the energetic drain on us can be extremely devastating. And that idea of having the discipline, the foresight, the habit of maintaining our integrity, and I think gratitude is a very integral part of that. So that causes me to ask one more question of you, Patti. And, of course, I know that you're also talking about the work that you do with your clients, and this work is so important for all of us. So what specifically comes to mind in this moment that you are especially grateful for?
Oh, my goodness.
The short list.
Yeah.
The short list, Patti, right?
Obviously, you probably already know this about me. I'm very grateful for my family. I feel blessed. My husband is my best friend, and my children mean so much to me, and we are very close. And my youngest child is still here at home, and she's a constant source of joy. But I am, the one thing that really stands out, that everything that I worked for my whole life seems like it sort of culminated in getting through all of the education and the corporate work. So finally, later in life, I now am able to do work that I really love, and I know that it makes a difference, and I'm so appreciative of it. Sitting down with someone one-on-one or sitting with a group and teaching them how to learn to use breath to bring anxiety under control, or to learn to connect with angelic energy, or to just understand your own energy. I'm also a medium, a psychic medium. I'm a natural-born psychic medium. It runs in our family. And I've noticed one of the most rewarding things of all that I'm so grateful for is sitting down with someone who has lost a loved one. And it's just, they're devastated, and it's been maybe a couple of years, and they just can't get over it. And this especially happens with a parent who's lost a child, and having that person go from not being able to stop crying to a place of giggling and laughing and really joyful within maybe an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours. And I'm not a clock watcher when I do my work. I tend to be looking for a result that it shows a healing. There's nothing quite like the feeling of watching someone who is buried in grief and brokenhearted, going from that place, which is a deep, low vibration, to a very high vibration of getting evidence from this person who's passed, who is joyful and happy and giving things like that, things you wouldn't think of, tiny little details, little things that are there. How would I know that? It's evidential mediumship. And that kind of work can change someone's life from being depressed to being joyful in the matter of a day, which is magical and beautiful. And I thank God for that, because it means so much to me. And I don't believe that God would have given me this gift if I weren't meant to use it to help others. So that's probably one of the most powerful things that I appreciate and am so grateful for at this time in my life.
I totally understand. The giving that we do, all of us who are aware of our gifts or even becoming more aware of them, what we contribute in the way of help, hope, and healing for others is such a joy. And I share this with you. Of course, one of the reasons I'm doing this podcast in general, and especially the series, is because so many of us get so lost. And I myself have been through my own dark times in my life, as all probably 7.5 billion of us on the planet have. And this is when we either reach out as the receiver of goodness, we need the goodness that you offer, or we are the giver of goodness. And, of course, it's really basically just a circle. And, Patti, I totally understand how gratifying, and that's an interesting word, how gratifying this work is, bringing joy and seeing the delight of someone who goes from a state of anxiety, depression, and crippling grief into an awareness of, there's a much bigger picture here than I was able to see 24 hours ago, and now I understand a larger, more beautiful truth, and my life will change and get better. That is a great gift that multiplies, in my opinion, exponentially around the planet, because joy begets joy. Gratitude begets gratitude. And so we become co-creators with others to affect a huge change on our planet, one from darkness and despair into joy and light. And I'll tell you, that just excites me. That just opens my heart, Patti. And
thank you. And I understand that feeling. I know when I first saw the difference that energy work can do and mediumship work can do and intuitive development can do, I was smitten. I fell in love with the work, because I've always been, since I was a little girl, have this personality to be a helper. I love helping people. I love taking care of people. I love being a source of joy and a source of comfort to people, whether I know them or not. Even if someone is really difficult, I try my best to try to put myself in their place and kind of feel what's going on there. And most of the time when someone's really difficult, it's because they're in pain. And when you can tap into whatever it is that's going on there and just sit with it, with them, and let them be whatever they are until they can calm down, and then help them and use different ways to raise their vibration, whether it's through gratitude or appreciation or creativity or exposure to art or to music. There's so many ways to raise your vibration, and gratitude and appreciation are two of the very best ways to do it. But it's meaningful work, isn't it?
It is, Patti, and as we're discussing this, I know that as this interview is released across social media platforms, that there are people who need to hear exactly what you are saying and exactly what we are discussing today, and that your words of who you are and what you offer will reach out into the airwaves of social media, into places that you and I cannot imagine in this moment, and bless and help and serve people, again, as I said, in ways that you and I cannot imagine at this moment. And I just want to offer my gratitude, add my appreciation to that, and add many, many multiple blessings across the board to the words and the vibrational frequencies that you have spoken today. And again, I offer my gratitude to you for taking the time and speaking your truth so beautifully. Patti, bless you.
Oh, Deidre, thank you so much. You are such a joy. I really appreciate that. I really do.
Likewise. And I have a feeling that there are people who are going to be, as I say, hearing your words and feeling the call to be in touch with you and to receive your gifting. And so with that in mind, I'd like to mention your contact information again. Phone number for Patti is area code 513-252-4854, and her website is www.pattyrippe.com, and that is PATTIRIPPE.com. Patti, we are sadly at the end of our appointed hour today. I would like to issue this invitation, and everyone's going to hear it, for you to come back on the show and talk further about your work and the pertinent things that are coming up as our world changes and changes and changes. I thank you so much for taking time today to be on our show and share yourself so freely and so beautifully.
It was an honor. It really was. I just feel uplifted and joyful now, and I appreciate this very much. Thank you.
So do I. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Patti Rippe, and I hope this has been as much of a blessing to you listening to it as it has been for Patti and me to chit-chat. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take good care of you because you matter. So long now, and bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of this podcast, nor is any content intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any illness of any kind, or substitute for proper professional care in this regard. We sincerely hope you have enjoyed today's show. If you're not already a subscriber, please click on the link and join our ever-growing community of goodwill. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us at drhoperadio@gmail.com. That's drhoperadio@gmail.com. All of us here at the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show wish you a day filled with hope and joy. Till next time, namaste.